at this point, I realized my insecurity and I am stopping my dream based of someone imagination, based on author and soap operas and movies. So I thought everything is in my mind. Seriously, how it can be possible that I'm not applying or I want to be a better person just because I think I'm not allowed? Who said that? Hollywood?
Yeah.
It was crazy. So
And
I repeat myself every day and I challenge myself in the sense of how can I overcome this? Okay, how, like, just pretty much check your angles, don't follow what
that's
everyone is telling you. Just pretty much question from where
Always going back to my why, because if you know your why,
she's
then
true.
you
Maybe
need to
my
start.
omelet is too big, so I will
Mhm.
just go half, and then you starve, and then you start snacking because you are starving, and the snack is a piece of chocolate. So it's just pretty much to build your body and to understand that sometimes the plate is going to look huge, but who cares? It's because you have salad, you have fish, you have good carbs,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
is way better than having a little sandwich because I'm not hungry. And that little sandwich has mayo, cheese, mustard.
Shaking Angles, a space where we look at the world from different angles. Welcome to this episode of Shaking Angles. My name is Nairet Mesones, and today we're going to be meeting Andrea McCabe. Welcome, Andrea. How are you doing?
Hi, great. Seriously, I'm so excited to be here. It's actually the first podcast that I'm going to do in English. So I'm
Oh.
actually super excited. And yeah, so happy to share, to learn from you, from your audience. So thank you very much for the invitation, seriously.
No, thank you, Andrea, for taking the time. We know how everything is running these days. And for you taking the space to be here, sharing with us your experience, your inner world is we really appreciate it. Truly, truly appreciate it. So today we're
Thank
gonna
you.
be meeting Andrea and knowing a little bit more about how does she look to the world from her angle. So Andrea, tell us a little bit about you yourself.
So I am actually Mexican. So I am Mexican, but I live in Ireland. And I will say something that we don't say, because when people they ask you, like, tell me about yourself, and then you start telling everyone, and I am this and I'm that. But I would say, like, who I am. I'm a very dreamer person. I try to give my best every day. I need to fight with my insecurities every single day. Every single day, I tell myself at least 10 times a day, this is not for you. You cannot do it. Just
Wow.
quit or do something else. So I actually, I am my own enemy. I think I am my worst enemy and my best ally at the same time. So I think that more than what I have achieved, or more than, every day is a constant battle between the person that you want to be, but the person who you think you can be. So it's a
It's
roller coaster.
no, interesting. I think most of us do the same. Like I'm with you 100%. Every day I'm my worst enemy. But look, tell me, how do you do it? How you overcome? Because seeing all your achievement, Andrea is a businesswoman. She is a life and mindset coach. And she has developed a really good career in Irlanda. And when you are an immigrant, we know all the challenges that we face as immigrants. But she has overcome all these, and she's doing great. You can imagine. Well, we could be talking about all her achievement right now, but the truth is, we want to understand your mindset. And well, definitely a really good question is, how do you overcome all those doubts, all those insecurities in confidence?
Well, I think, as I said before, I think it's something that every day is a battle. However, I remember a very important episode in my life, Nairet, that I really want to share with your audience, because at that moment I realized that my fears and my insecurities came from years and years and years of soap operas, like telenovelas, as we know in the Latin world. And I will tell you what happened. So as an immigrant, you come, and of course, is the English is not my first language. So I came to Ireland with reasonable English to go by, by hello, how are you, and just working in restaurants, but nothing more. I needed to study, dot. So I came and I studied some English, and I was doing some work. I was doing some cleaning. I was waitressing. I was doing, what you usually think a Latina will do in those countries, because especially for me, coming from Mexico, all the Mexicans that they go to the States, they go to work in the farms, they go to work as a waitress, as a cleaners, etc., like low profile jobs. Okay, so I was doing what I supposed to do because I am a Latina and I am an immigrant. Okay, when I start really thinking, why I'm not applying to a better job? Seriously, why? And then I start thinking, because no one is going to hire a Latina, like no one, like, because my English is not perfect, because I don't have all the experience, and I knew all the whys. And I remember having this conversation with my mom, and my mom told me, why do you have such a, like, why do you say that no one is going to hire? Like, you don't have any experience, you don't have any, and when I mean experience, like, you don't have any friend that told you, oh, I went and this happened to me. Like, from where are you taking all this information that if you apply, no one is going to give you the job? Like, from where? And that actually was a reality, because from my family, I only have one auntie that she moved to Canada, and she did extremely well. But I didn't have any specific story around me that will tell me, oh, you are not allowed to apply for jobs, oh, you are not allowed to go for this. Until I start thinking, from where I'm getting this information that Latinas or Mexican women, they cannot apply for jobs, they cannot, inspire another people, from where? And I realized that it has been from the soap operas. Because the soap operas, they on the movies, they always they tell you that if you are a Latina, well, you have certain accents. So if you are a Latina, you can only apply to or work in certain jobs. Let's look around. Let's look at Hollywood. When did you see a Latina with bad English being an entrepreneur and being extremely successful? It's always the one that clean houses, works in restaurants, cleans in hotels,
delivery.
Exactly. So I didn't have any role model, to be honest, to say, oh, I want to be like that, because I was doing what the role models, they were telling me I was allowed to get. And at that moment, to be honest, just pretty much just to kind of like answer your question, sorry if I actually give all this story behind, it was to say, at this point, I realized my insecurity and I am stopping my dream based of someone imagination, based on author and soap operas and movies. So I thought everything is in my mind. Seriously, how it can be possible that I'm not applying or I want to be a better person just because I think I'm not allowed? Who said that? Hollywood? It was crazy. So I repeat myself every day and I challenge myself in the sense of, how can I overcome this? Okay, how, like, just pretty much check your angles, don't follow what everyone is telling you. Just pretty much question from where I have this belief, from where I have this fear. And if you really digging into your insecurities, you will realize that they are coming from, like, I don't know, from nowhere,
even
from just information.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. And sometimes it might be the story of a friend, someone that we don't even know, But in reality, we're not even trying. And that's the most important thing, because at the end, we all have different experiences. And when we try and we find out why, I mean, if we haven't get the job that we are dreaming of, or we haven't get where we want to get, sometimes it's because we might not have a specific skill, or maybe it wasn't the right. In my case, I have a very similar experience to you, in regards that I immigrated to Australia. And when I was here, my biggest insecurity was my language, of course, the pronunciation. My English is not good enough. So I started studying, but meanwhile, I wasn't not even trying to apply to the right job. But the point is, at the end of the day, we have to try and go for our dreams. So tell us a little bit more about this experience. So you realized that was something that it was not real, that you didn't even know anyone who has experience getting the job or going after the dreams, and even someone maybe, I don't know if you have Latin friends over there, but maybe someone who was trying to find a job or who was trying to build a business over there. So how did you realize that I mean, I know that at the end you are very aware of yourself, and you analyze what was happening, and you realize that you weren't trying. So then at the moment that you realized what was happening, you started applying, or what else did happen?
Yes. So something I think, and I just want to share this, I think I'm extremely lucky in the sense that both of my parents are psychologists. So with this in mind, I'm very comfortable to share my thoughts, to go to therapy, because it has been around my family. You know, I don't have any shame. And I think that has played a huge advantage in my life, because I can literally just share my experience. And some people, they will say, why will you share your pains with people? And I was like, why not? I'm very open with my fears. I'm very open with my insecurities, because this is coming from my background, right? So when at that point that I actually saw that no one was stopping me, only my fears and my stories that I invented in my head, then I just said, okay, let's make a plan. And that is actually something that I realized that not many people, they do, to have a plan to achieve their goals. Many of my friends, they quit, they went back to Mexico, or they actually still working in the restaurants that I was working, because they tell themselves, oh, my CV is not good enough, my experience is not good enough. But at the same time, they don't make an effort to learn another skill. So when I knew that I wanted to go into the luxury industry, I love fashion, I love the brand. So I wanted to start building a career into this segment. But at the same time, obviously, I realized as a waiter, my CV is not going anywhere. So how can I start gaining some curriculum for at least to be considered to go to an interview? And at that point, I actually start just knocking some doors and asking for hours to work with no compensation. So I have a few contacts, because I was studying my master, and I remember I went with my teacher that he was a pro in marketing, and I knew that he had a side hustle, like a marketing company. Okay. And then I said, hey teacher, you know me, you are my teacher, you know I am a good student, will you allow me to work for you? And then obviously my teacher was like, Andrea, I cannot pay you. And I was like, I'm not asking you for payment, I just need the experience and I need a title, and that will be my payback. I need a title to get into the door of those. And then was like, okay, right, fair play.
So
I can give you, I can
really
give you the
technique.
title, but you give me the job. And at that time I had three jobs. I had to do my master, I had the job in the restaurant, and I had the job with him. Wow. And my life was crazy, but crazy in the sense that I didn't feel that I was stressed, or I had very clear the hours that I needed to do in all the areas to achieve to achieve. It's like 4 hours to study, 8 hours to work in the restaurant, and another 4 hours to do my other part-time job. So I had my plan, and I knew, and because you have a plan, you know how many hours you need to sleep, at what time do you need to eat, because you need to work into that plan. And thanks of that, I was actually able to get a job and to get an interview because it was my payback. So when I see what I did different is that I made my own plan. I actually said, okay, what do I want to achieve? How can I get it? And I think that curiosity, like, how can I get it? And it happens every day, just ask yourself, what do you want? And once you know what you want, it's just a matter of time until you figure it out, okay, how I make it happen. But the why should be in your breakfast, in your lunch, in your dinner, in your snack, when you sleep. Like, why do I want? Like, why do I want it? How I can get it?
No, I agree with you. It's amazing how you organize a strategy to get in the door. And that's very important because sometimes we might have, in the position as an immigrant, we came to these countries and we had some experiences, and still because we don't know how the market moves, we don't know the country, at the end, we need this experience in that place. So it's amazing how you organize your plans and how you were living that way, how you had that strong feeling that you were after what you wanted. So I'm really amazed by that, like asking, and actually I'm taking notes because definitely there's really good and key points that are important at the end to keep in mind at the moment that we are doing something, and because a lot of time we forget all of this and we always need a reminder.
Totally.
Look, Andrea, and there is another point that I want to discuss with you, because look, we know Andrea is a business woman. She has developed a really good career in Irlanda, but also in her personal growth, she has done a really good job. Great job, I would say, because she's a disciplined person. She worked out every day and she looked after herself, which is the most important thing, because if we don't look after ourselves, how can we look after the rest of the world? And that, with that, I'm meaning our friends, family, kids, everyone. So Andrea, she used to have a little bit overweight, and she did well, we know, for most of us, we know the tough work, the hard work that is behind of changing our habits. And she has done it, and we want to hear about that. How was that experience for you on changing those habits and getting a more healthy lifestyle?
Yeah, like, to be honest, this topic is one of the topics that I needed to study the most, because I needed to understand why my body works in certain ways. Just to give you a little of background, so I don't know if this is actually true to actually say I come from overweight family, because I don't know if this is a habit or you actually have the genes to become like to be overweight. It's always that actually. Yeah, we might need to actually ask a doctor about it.
Yeah, well, I think years ago that we used to say like it was related to genetics, but nowadays there are a lot of research who has demonstrated which is related more to the habits. But at the end, look, we have to find someone more specialized to get more information in that, because
totally, because I don't really know. But anyway, so from my side, since I have knowledge about myself and my family, everyone has been overweight. Everyone, that said, when you grow in a family with everyone is overweight, the topic is food and diet, especially when you grow up with a female, so my first diet was, I think, maybe when I was 6, 7. That was kind of like the first diet that I remember. And I have really sad memories. And right now I feel pain for that girl that just wanted to feel accepted, because I remember that, when you are in the school and then the school brings you to kind of like a tours during the day, and then you have, I don't know, kind of like a day away from school.
Okay.
I remember that one day they brought us to this like a swimming pool area to spend the day. And I remember that I asked my teacher, at what time are we arriving in the swimming pool? And my teacher was like, I think at 10. And I was like, okay, perfect. And then I went back to my mom and I said, Mom, can you pray at 10 a.m.? Just to say it makes me cry. And my mom was like, why? And I was like, because at 10 a.m. I'm going to be wearing my swimming costume. And I want everyone to, like, I don't want for people to see me who I am. So at 10 a.m., please pray that I jump to the swimming pool as soon as possible, so no one sees me and with my body, And to be honest, when I actually go back and I just think how someone at that age can be so worried in the way that she looks, or in the way that people they look at her. And if I can have this opportunity to tell, I'm not a mom, but if someone of your audience is listening to this and that person is a mom, be very kind with the words that you say, not even to your daughter, around your circle. Because when you are in a family, when they see people overweight and they start, ew, wow, disgusting, then you as a kid, then you see yourself very similar to that person, and then you are like, oh my god, I'm disgusting too, if my mom is saying. So it's just very important to keep. So anyway, so I genuinely come from a very painful background, in the sense that I never felt pretty. I never feel like, especially because I don't know why, but at some point, kind of like all your friends are so tiny, so tiny, and then you are always like the one with big legs, and some of that is part of my body and I need to accept it, but I was overweight. Anyway, so very insecure of myself. I did as many diets as I could with my knowledge and my, buying pills, buying teas, buying anything that, and not only myself, my mom used to buy it for me. And I know it was because she wanted to help me, because, I don't know, what do you think, Nairet, but being obese can be so humiliating for society. They pointed you and they think, I'll just be on a diet. And then you're like, what the fuck? It's like, it's not as simple as that.
No, it's not simple, and it's not fair. I think this podcast was born because my mom, she was obese. And I know how difficult it is. Not only because, the way how you look, which is very tough, because in the way how society judge everyone who is obese or overweight. But besides of that, because I know all the support that we all need in order to change our habits. Look, at the end, that's very important, only because it will help us with our health. It will help us to have a good energy, to to do everything that you want to do, and also it will reduce the probabilities of getting illness and things like that. But from the point of view of our society, I think it's not fair at all. And look, I don't know if fair is the right word, but at the end, we have to start understanding, and look, it's very important for you to share your point of view, because when we have that insight of how someone is feeling, like there is a person behind of that body, who has the rights of talking about someone else in that way? We don't know what they are going through. We don't know how it feels. We don't know how tough it is. And
Yeah.
for me, I just have an idea because of my mom. Of course, I was very close to her, and I used to help her with diets and like so many things. And then I realized that the most important thing is the support.
Totally. And you know, I remember because even within my family, we had a case of one of my uncles was using drugs, which is an addiction, the same as the food. And I remember that when we realized that he was on drugs, we felt so sorry. We felt like, why is he consuming? Like we felt that we let him down as a family. And then I realized, well, the eating, the compulsing eating is an addiction too. Why no one feels sorry for me? All the opposite. They feel, go and run, drink more water, eat chewing gum. So you train your brain not to eat when you are hungry. Like, why they are so mean? I feel, it was just very, very in the sense that eating disorder is the same as any another addiction, and we need to start realizing that you don't go and tell a drug addict, oh, you are disgusting, you just be on a diet of drugs. Well, no, it is a
No,
pain,
Yeah. No, and I'm with you. It's the same. I wouldn't say the same case, but from the point of view that at the end, for example, for a kid being overweight, I believe it's a responsibility of everyone in the family, not only the kid.
Yeah.
And the most important thing is we build the habits since we are little. And then based on those habits, I mean, if someone has a baby and then since little they are eating in some way, that then when they are grown, it's so much easier to maintain that way of eating. I mean, if it is a healthy way, it's going to be very easy for them to maintain. If they are used to train, to do exercise, it's going to be very easy. But then if you have grown in a family where it was the way of sharing, it was eating and being in front of a TV, then it was going to be going against of all your habits to change that. So at the end, that's very tough. That we all need support to do that.
Yeah.
And in the same way,
I think
from that point of view, I think it's the same case as a drug addict. They need support, they need help to understand what's happening and what's going on, and how they can start controlling that. I believe for someone who has some not even issue, like they want to change the habits, they need support.
Yeah, totally. And going back to your questions, and I'm so sorry, I just feel that I'm not answering your questions.
No,
it's
okay.
Sometimes it's just so much that you have to say.
And but it's interesting.
When you mentioned, sorry. When you mentioned about like how you became that discipline, is because I realized that, as you mentioned, you need habits to overcome a bad relationship with food, a bad relationship with, because the meaning behind the discipline means I know why I need to do this. Like maybe for me that is the always going back to my why, because if you know your why, then you need to start asking yourself, okay, why I do it for this. What do I need to do? I need to do this. And then that discipline is just pretty much the word that we set to that energy purpose that you want. So when I start having more control about my habits, about what is food and etc., I start studying nutrition, but only by myself. Like I'm not a nutritionist. I wanted to understand the fact about what is food, because I came from 20 years of family conversations telling me don't eat bread, don't eat potatoes, don't eat anything that has carbs, only focusing in one fruit, one manzana. I did all the diets that you can imagine, eat protein, eat vegetables. So and then I start thinking, why certain people tell me, hey, it's okay to eat potato? For 20 years, I have been hearing all the opposite, that it's terrible to eat potato and don't eat anything after 8 p.m. And I was like, why? I'm starving. I'm extended and I'm starving. Why I can't eat, oh, don't eat banana after because it's full of carbs, you know? So I needed to, like, the why, with like a why I'm doing what everyone is telling me. And I investigated, I did some research, and then I started doing my own, you know, I started to understand about even calories, how many calories your body needs to survive. I couldn't believe, I have to say this, Nighted, I couldn't believe that my body needs calories to survive. And if I don't give my body those calories, then my body is going to start in this kind of like, how do they call it, like this, like a stock. It's kind of like a stock when your body then accumulate, like as soon as you eat, you accumulate everything. It's kind of like this effect that your body is super smart. So if you eat only once a day, then your body will absorb all that, even if it's just 300 calories or whatever, like it will absorb. So this knowledge, why this knowledge is not common? It's more common to know how many calories a banana has. It's more common to know don't eat after 8 because you will, you know, all the sugar. Why no one says, you know what, your body is an engine and you need actually, it needs food regardless.
Yeah.
You know, regardless. I couldn't believe it, seriously.
No, yeah, I'm with you. Look, something that happened in Venezuela, and I think it was very common. If you were overweight and you wanted to lose weight, it would be the most common suggestion: have dinner, just a salad of lettuce and tomato. And at the end of the day, if you are having dinner that, and then you keep eating only lettuce, you won't have all the fuel that you need to keep your body healthy. And that's the most important thing, because we can't go any extreme, because overeating is one extreme. And in overeating, I'm talking also like a junk food. But then if we don't eat enough, or we don't eat all the nutrients that we need, that's another extreme that we don't want to get. So at the end, it's very, very important for us to have that knowledge. And I think you are 100% clever person who found the right information and to take the decision, to make the decisions right for you, because it is very difficult. And I think that's the most important thing why it was very tough some years ago, because the most common thing was to have this strict diet where you basically weren't eating anything.
Yeah, and I remember as well, and I think that this is very important to mention, that when you have knowledge about your food and what you can eat and the good that that food does to your body, then you stop being afraid of eat certain things. However, then you face society. And I remember this because every country has different habits, you know. For example, in Ireland, it's very common just to eat toast in the morning, toast, butter, and jam. You know, it's kind of like the you know, like the continental breakfast, you know, or a muffin, because it's a small, it's just, I don't need that much, it's just a small.
Okay.
And I just think, do you really know how much calories and how many fat and how many sugars are you eating in that small thing? You know, I remember having breakfast. My husband is Irish, so we went to his family to have, you know, dinner, breakfast. I don't know, I think it was Christmas, so we stayed for a few days. So in the morning, I woke up and I was chopping some onions, tomato. I was doing an omelette, and this omelette, you know, with two eggs, and then the white eggs and spinach. So, like, in other words, the omelette looked huge, like it was like a massive. And then I remember that my mother-in-law came. She toasted 2 slices of bread, put some jam, put some butter, 2 spoons of sugar in her coffee. And she looked at me And she looked at me and genuine from her heart, she said, "Oh, Andrea, you will never lose weight eating in that way. Look at the size of that thing." And then
Wow.
I look at her plate and I just said, everything that is here is not even half of the calories that you are eating, and it's going to give me more benefits for all the
Mhm.
protein and the, you know, and the fiber and everything.
The vitamins,
I had
nutrients.
the knowledge. Exactly. But I had the knowledge, so I was able to make, and to be honest, I just said, well, I suppose that we just have different eating, you know, habits. But just to think that maybe someone who doesn't have the knowledge to fight or to push back, maybe that person will say, "Oh my God, she's true. Maybe my omelet is too big, so I will
Mhm.
just go half." And then you starve, and then you start snacking because you are starving, and the snack is a piece of chocolate. So it's just pretty much to build your body and to understand that sometimes the plate is going to look huge, but who cares? It's because you have salad, you have fish, you have good carbs,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
is way better than having a little sandwich because I'm not hungry. And that little the sandwich has mayo, cheese, mustard, ketchup, and
Yeah.
all these things that is actually even worse for your body.
Is there when it came through, or definitely is true, the saying like it's not the quantity but the quality? Because in that case, the quantity might be a lot, but the quality is so much better than for example, the jam and the butter on a toast. Because the toast by itself is not so bad. The issue is what you have on it, like and then not having the right vitamins and nutrients, because at the end you're not having any protein on that. But it's very
Yeah.
important. And look, from that I'm getting, so for you was very important to understand and know what was right to eat in a way to not starve and make possible or make sustainable that eating way. Because that's the problem when we don't eat enough and we're starving basically.
Yeah.
um then is when we tend to snacks in a not really healthy way, because a lot of time we're busy and we get what we have or what is close to us. And it's when it really makes it gets harder to maintain, to maintain the plan. So for you it was definitely key to understand in a way that you were eating right. I mean the right
Yes.
quantity.
Yes. And to be honest, it was as simple as I went to a website and I just said, how many calories does my body need to survive? Literally just to survive. And then you put your height, you put your age, and you put like if you work, like just simple questions like, do you work sitting or do you walk? Do you take the bus? Da, da, da. And then based on very simple questions, then the website, I remember that the website told me your body to function in the minimum, you know, healthy way needs 1,400 calories. And I remember that I was like, never in my life I was allowing myself to go above 1,000. So to
Wow, and
see,
for a woman I think that's the minimum.
yeah, and for me to see that the minimum, even yeah, I remember that they said even if you rest, like even if you lie down in your bed the whole day, you minimum need 1,500 calories. I couldn't believe it, and I was like, no wonder why I don't sleep well. No wonder why I'm tired all the time. No wonder why I'm cranky and moody and etc. Because it's terrible. And I was very lucky to find a very good nutritionist that he put me at 2,000 calories diet. And oh my God, I was so I remember the first days, it was like I'm not eating all that because I was confronting my beliefs
Okay.
that I'm going to get fat. I will get fat. I'm eating 1,000 calories more. I'm getting fat. I'm getting fat. I'm getting fat.
The
And this is
beef
something that I'm still struggling. You know, every day I'm so afraid to overweight because that brings me to a very bad, you know, areas of my life. So I was very afraid of no, I'm throwing back all the effort that I have been doing. And then I realized, Nairet, that I was eating 2000 calories and I was achieving the results I didn't achieve in my life. I start getting muscled. I start sleeping better. I start looking at the mirror and feeling me, I don't know, like sexy. I was like, ah, damn girl, you can do it. It's like, and then it's like, how? And I was like, I have been so naive, and I have been thinking that the less that I eat is the better for me, because if I eat less, my body is going to starve. So it's going to start looking for fat in my body to survive. And not necessarily. Not necessarily. Yeah.
No, it's amazing. It's amazing to share this, because you're right. At the end, it's the same for me. I eat a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's a quality. I don't eat like so many things. I look after a lot. But my mother-in-law, she also has told me a lot of time, oh my God, you eat so much. But I always tell her, like, it's not a quantity, it's a quality. And they notice, like, nowadays they understand, like, I don't put weight on. And I think that's my secret. Eating a lot, but a lot of vegetables and things like that. And at the end, the method of cooking is quite key, because it's not the same like to have a fried potato chips, or like only baked potato or something.
Yeah,
like
or boiled. Yeah, totally. I think that something like the sodas, like in the morning, I this is very in Europe, I don't know in Australia, but it's very normal to have a glass of orange juice. And it's like, I'm so healthy, I'm having a glass of orange juice. And I was like, you are all the opposite of healthy. Like, that glass of orange juice first is pure concentrated, like it's not actually the fruit. You are taking all the fiber and you only are drinking the water and the sugar. So no. And then it's just this stereotype that, oh, I'm so healthy, look at my glass of orange juice. So even until today, we are very ignorant about what is food, what is good, what is bad. And not good and bad, because it's not like such a good or such a bad, but we have a very bad misunderstanding of what is healthy and what is not healthy. Definitely.
Yeah, at the end is, as you said, like, I think it's the balance, having the right combination during the day. Because something that you mentioned earlier, it was like, oh, for example, you couldn't eat a banana at 8 p.m. If you have a different schedule, and for example, you don't have breakfast in the morning, or because you get up by 12, at the end, you can eat anything. And it's the average of the food that you are having during the day. So, and I guess with that, I'm also saying the balance of all the food that you are having during the day. And something that I learned recently is, I mean, I knew that fiber, we need the fiber, 100% is very important in our diet. But the relevance of having the fiber with anything that we are eating is out of this world. I'm reading a book, which is I don't remember the name of the girl, but it explains basically how we have the glucose peak in the blood and all that. Is really amazing. I think I will try to get these girls to talk about it, because that's something very important. Like the consumption of the fiber during every meal will guarantee that we are going to have a really good level of glucose in our blood. And that's also related in the way how we store fat and all that. Andrea, and tell us what another limitation you needed to break at the moment that you were changing those habits.
I think,
or belief.
Yes, like, to be honest, I'm still Nairet every day. Like, maybe we haven't discussed this, and I don't know if the time will allow, but I had an eating disorder as well. I don't know if I was, no, I was the type of person that I was eating, chewing, but throwing the food. Okay, and you develop techniques, and you develop, and this is maybe a subject for another podcast, because it's the fact that you are lying to yourself, but lying to yourself because you think that you are doing something good. When I had this eating disorder, I genuinely thought I'm doing something good, because instead of eating this and all this sugar to go to my body, I'm just giving my body a test, but throwing it. So I'm not absorbing all this madness. Like, you start building yourself a story because you need to believe that you are doing the right thing. I think that every day is still a challenge, because every day social media tells me that I'm not good enough. When I go to the shops, the size tell me that I am size 12, and that pretty much is, it's big. When I take some pictures, or when I go to, when you go to the bars and you go to on holidays, it's still very, especially for holidays, it's still very painful for me to see what I'm eating, what I'm drinking. This is something that doesn't go away, at least for me. I can be very aware, and I'm very happy with the person that I am, and I have an amazing discipline, because I know my why, that I want to have health and I want to become a better person. But society every day tells me I'm not good enough. You are not slim enough. You are not sexy enough. You are not pretty enough. And I need to remind myself every day, I am the best I can be today. Literally, I go one step a day. And that actually gives me, that give me like a pain in the stomach, that you need to remind yourself you are the best that you can do today. Tomorrow's another day, but today, this is the best that you are. And it's very tough. It's very tough, how we need to worry about what I'm wearing for the wedding, who is going, and what are they going to tell about you. That is very Latino. I don't know if it's something that in Australia is like, oh, she's getting married, what I'm wearing, who is going, oh, I need to go for la faja. I don't know, like those, like a body suits that you put to a scarf. And you know what? And I actually want to use this example, because we think that we are very mental health pro, and love your body, but yourself. But what happened with Kim Kardashian in the gala, what is the name of this gala? The ones that Kim Kardashian was super, that was admired, because she wore Marilyn Monroe dress.
Okay.
And to be able to fit into that dress, she needed to lose, I think, like 7 kilos or 9 kilos within 2 weeks, something insane.
Wow.
So, and
And she
she
did it?
did it.
Wow.
Yeah, well, like Kim Kardashian. So I suppose that she lives into this world, So she did it. She lost massive weight. She fit into the dress, and everyone was like, "Bravo!" When like you conquer all your dreams, you are wearing Marilyn Monroe dress. It's amazing, model figure. And I was like, can someone is thinking, oh, the message that she's giving to society, that lose 10 kilos in 2 weeks, take it what it takes. If you need to starve. If you need to do madness hours of cardio, do it. If you need to just survive, do it. But I'm fitting into this dress. She's a social influence, a figure. So many people follow her. And the fact that this act has been applause from everyone as a courage, brave, you can do it, dream, and then you will achieve what you want. That is giving a message to society that, starve and
Yeah,
make
no,
it happen.
it's not really good, but at least nowadays we also have different examples. There is this girl, Camila Cabello. She put on some weight, and I love the way how she shared her life. Like, she shared photos with her cellulites and things like that. And look, her message is really good. I'm totally with you. There are still a lot of people who are judging because of the way how we dress, because what we have, and the way how we look. But I think it's in us to start, stop paying attention to that. If you want to wear a dress, I think that's the biggest step, is just get out from our own belief and our own culture, because that's something. It's the same in Venezuela. Like, we were grown in a country where it was very important, if you are going to a wedding or how are you dressing? You have to be like everything perfect, the hair, the makeup. Like, it wasn't a way for us to go into any wedding or anywhere like with not having the right dress. And looking in the right way according to them. But the right way is how we look, how we feel. I think that's wow. And here in Australia, I think, well, there are many different things here, because one of the biggest points is we have so many influence from different cultures, and you can see like some cultures, as we are. They are, if you're going in a wedding with us, how can I say, background, they will go like all like very dressed up and all fancy and all very good. But then you see some people, I was amazed in a wedding, like someone was dressing like they were going to a picnic.
Yeah, that is very common. No makeup. Like, for example, for me, every time,
And for me, I tend to pay attention a lot to my thinking. And my first thought was, oh my God, how is possible they're coming without a dress? And then I was like shocked by that thought, because oh my God, unbelievable. We have that so deep in our unconscious, and that is, we don't realize the moment where we are thinking that. So of course I stopped myself, because the behind of that is not only that I'm judging them, but also I'll be judging myself when I want to go, with another dress that is not so fancy, but I'm feeling like that. And I think,
and that and to be honest, I'm sorry. I think I missed you a little bit. I just want to mention this. We put ourselves in a situation that we need to be perfect. Like, for example, I'm just going to give you this. So I actually have a wedding in 2 weeks. And it was yesterday that I started thinking, oh my God, what I'm wearing. I need to, go to my makeup. I need to do my hair. And then and to be honest, I make the numbers and I said that, you know what? I cannot afford to continue this behavior. It's like, I cannot buy a dress every single time that I go to a wedding. I cannot go and pay €100 makeup because it is a wedding. And then I am the only one that I looks like I am in a graduation with all the makeup and all the dress. And then I was like, you know what? And then you can even see in the camera, that's like no, I'm not fixing my hair. I will do whatever it takes. Like, I'm not going to spend just because like it's a wedding and I need to have my hair perfect. It's like, no, seriously, I need to start breaking behavior just because it's in the way that I grew up. No, like I cannot afford that. I literally said, no, I cannot afford that. That's it. I'm not buying it. I'm going to do my own makeup. No, like enough with this perfection. Enough with this society that tells you, and maybe I'm not sure, Naired, if it's the society or if it's us telling us you are not good enough, so you need to wear a new dress. You are not good enough, so you need to be beautiful with the makeup. So I think now that I'm actually telling you, when you actually say something, then you actually start reflecting. Maybe we blame society, but it's us. This is us that and I know society has a big impact, but we need to start with us,
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Like when we were little, we learned from the society, but nowadays, if we keep that pattern, it's us who are making the decision. It's us who are deciding to do it or not. So I agree with you. And at the end, we have just to take that confidence and feel, look, I have to tell you, you are beautiful. I mean, if you are listening only this podcast, maybe go to the social media or in YouTube, you can see this girl. She is beautiful. She doesn't know, you don't need at all the makeup or anything else. You are beautiful. So I
Yeah,
think
thank you.
that's something that we have to repeat ourselves and get that confidence every day, because we have listened too much the fact that we need more, the fact that we
Yes.
need, you know, improve our eyebrows, improve our skin. Now, our skin is perfect, our body is perfect. We don't need anything else. So,
Yeah.
Andrea, I want to tell you to share with you the takeaways from today.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, here they are. The first thing that I got is we have to be self-aware of our thoughts and our feelings. The another is get a plan. We need to get a plan to establish the strategy that we need to get to achieve our goals. Organization is key, and ask yourself, what do you want? Why do you want that? And be strong, get those feelings that make you be disciplined and stay very close to your goals. So Andrea, tell me, how did I do it? And tell me if you got another takeaway, something else that you want us to take from this conversation.
I think that, like, I just felt that, you know, I was chatting and to be honest, those type of conversations, they really move you a lot because they bring you to your childhood and your relation with your family and your beliefs and etc. To be honest, I think that for me to tell your audience, it's that you are the best, or try to be the best that you can be today. You know, be the best that you can be today, and another one that I want for everyone to take is be aware the information that you tell yourself in front of people. Like, be aware of your conversation, be aware of the wording that you use to describe yourself. And this is something that happens every day, Naire. If I tell you, Naire, you look beautiful, I don't know why we have this immediate reaction to justify or to say that it's not right. That is not true. I didn't sleep well. Or you are joking.
You are so kind for telling that. Like,
yeah, you are so kind that it's not true. Yeah, like I remember, like for example, you know, I tell my friends or people that I know, I love your style. Like, I love how you look. I just bought this very cheap. Like, it's all. It seems that we want to diminish or value, and that actually really surprised me. I don't know, but I actually even I have got myself many times when someone tells me you are beautiful, and I was like, it's the makeup, it's the sunglasses, it's the clothing, it's kind of like this. No, it's not me. It's everything that I put to make it. Until I start realizing, I was like, why I want to diminish myself? Like, why I don't feel I'm not worth enough for someone to tell me. So that is maybe another takeaway that I want everyone to say. Start analyzing the wording that you use to describe yourself, and how do you express when someone tells you you are amazing, you look beautiful, you look at how good you are. How do you reply? Because I'm sure that most of the time we reply with that justification that it's not true. And guess what? Eventually people, they stop saying it because they start buying that, oh, maybe it's not true. Actually, maybe it's the makeup, Andrea. So if someone tells you, oh, you're beautiful, thank you very much, and take it. Stop answering, oh, it's the light, you know, or it's the filter, or it's the, no, what the fuck?
Yeah. You know, that's a challenge that I have at the moment. I'm working in that with my therapist, because it's so hard for me to take any compliment anything. Like if someone tells me that, I just want to hide myself and not to take it. And I used to justify and diminish everything, but I have improved. And the improvement that I have now, I don't say anything, not even thank you. Like I just petrify myself. But I think that's a progress. Like I just, no, I just stay there like looking, okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But it's after when I realized that, oh my God, I didn't even say thank you. But at least I wasn't, bringing any reason to say that's not true, because even at work, like someone would tell me, oh, how good was this project? How did you do it? Like the results were amazing. And you are a really good work, something like that. And I was like, oh no, it's not true. It's only that I got help from someone else. I could have told that, like, how is possible? Of course I did work on that a lot. Why I'm not taking that? But I guess it's part of the process to being confident and accepting ourselves how we are. And I don't know if I discover why we do it, I will bring that here because it's very interesting. I don't know why we do it. But Andrea?
Well, I suppose that the next chapter we need to bring a psychologist and a nutritionist, because we have so many questions here.
Yeah, no, and there are so many takeaways as well in the portion that we discuss in regards of how you change your habits in nutrition, in eating habits, that I'm very amazed, and I'll be taking everything, sharing everything with everyone else. And I hope this has been as helpful for you as it's been for me. So Andrea, thank you very much for taking the time and being here with us. Well, I'm hoping we are going to have another opportunity to keep talking about this.
Absolutely.
All these topics.
Yeah, thank you very much for shaking angles. De verdad, really. Thank you very much for shaking my own angles, because it's always good to have those spaces that you remind yourself all the pain that you have passed and not to allow yourself to go back to that point. And then if my story can help, encourage, or just to shake the angles of someone else, I'm happy for that. And
they will.
Open book here.
They will, for sure. Thank you very much, and have a good day.
The same for you. Bye-bye.
Bye.